Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Untitled Reviews. Now, today's video is going to be something a little bit different, and if you've read the title, you know exactly what we're going to be doing. So, yes, I bought a £55 Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. If you go onto Microsoft's website, these things are still 140 quid, at least at the time of recording. And while it is now a 3-year-old product or so, I wanted to go and pick one up to see if it is still worth a good buy today. So, should you go and spend 55 quid on a refurbished Xbox Elite Series 2 controller? Let's find out, shall we? So, before actually jumping in and opening the box of this Elite Series 2 controller, it's probably worth just explaining how I managed to get my hands on it. Now, if you, as I said in the intro, if you go and look online, these things are still around £130 to £140 retail, and the ones on eBay second-hand will run you about £75 to £90 depending upon condition, and some a little bit more. Well, if you know where to look, you can pick these things up cheaper. I managed to get this at an Argos clearance outlet warehouse in Corby, which is in Northamptonshire. And there's a few of these warehouses around the country, and fundamentally what these things are places where Argos will sell any excess, refurbished or returned stock, and that is guaranteed for a period of 12 months, at least in terms of electronics. They sell basically everything in there, everything from televisions to games controllers to hair dryers to jewellery, you name it, basically they stock it. Fundamentally, for those who don't know, Argos is kind of like a catalogue shop in Britain where you can pick up all manner of different things. Fundamentally, the way you used to be able to do it was you used to walk into the shop, look through their catalogue, pick out an item to reserve based upon its catalogue number, and then you'd basically go up, you'd order it there, and you could go and click and collect it the same day. Argos is really the pioneer of click and collect in Britain at the very least, and it's a shame that more retailers like that don't necessarily exist. But I went into the Argos clearance outlet in Corby and was greeted by this very large selection of Xbox Elite Series 2 controllers, and I picked out this specific one. And there were a few questions running through the back of my mind before I kind of picked this up and bought it as to if it was necessarily a good idea. These things, as I say, are usually worth 3 times more than I paid, and seeing them for such a low price did seem to kind of ring a few alarm bells in my head. I mean, I have used and dabbled custom controllers in the past, and these things generally have been a little bit of a mixed bag. If you go on to Hot UK Deals, which is a UK deals sharing website, you'll see that these refurbished, heavily discounted Xbox Elite Series 2 controllers have cropped up before across the country, and people have been getting a few issues with regards to how extensive the refurbishment is. Some of them have been operating with ridiculous levels of stick drift, while others certainly don't seem to have been used at all. And really, it is a bit of a lottery as to which one you get. Now, this box completely remains unopened until I've started filming this video, so let's dive in together. Have I got something that's worth the money? So, the moment of truth, let's find out if our £55 Xbox Elite Series 2 controller is really worth the money. So, let's just open the box. There we go. So far so good. This is what the Elite Series 2 comes in. There's nothing else in the box apart from a couple of cables underneath, but let's take a look at what we've got here. Fundamentally, this is what the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller comes in, and by rights, this kind of fabric hard case looks absolutely fine, complete with Xbox logo, and inside we should find the controller itself, complete with all manner of sticks and triggers. There is the receipt, just to show you that it is indeed $54.99, but we'll come to that later. And there you go. This looks to be in perfect condition. So actually, it looks to be that we've actually got one of the really good ones here. Some of these people were reporting didn't seem to be either complete or generally feel as if they were kind of new, as it were, but this actually feels really, really good. And also, I will say at this juncture, actually, this is one of the slightly newer versions of the Elite controller. As you'll see on the side of the box, this one is actually mentioned as being working with Xbox Series X or S. It looks as if Microsoft revised the box design at some point to mention their new next-gen consoles, whereas previous generations, when this controller was originally released, would have just said Xbox One and Windows 10. So, first of all, it looks like we've actually got quite a good egg. So in removing the box and moving all that to one side, let's actually take a look at what we've got here. Well, fundamentally, this looks to be an as-new Xbox Elite Series 2 controller that came complete with all of the relevant other swappable triggers and paddles in the box that can be used on the front or indeed around the back. And this feels as a new one would. It's comfortable to hold with that wonderful rubberized grip. You've got the swappable D-pads and thumbsticks and general mean aesthetic that's black and silver. And you also get these really nice textured triggers as well. The Elite controllers have always been, I've always considered them to be within the upper echelons of more premium custom controllers that you can get these days. The world of custom controllers has been around for ages, with people like Scuf and Controller Freaks have been kind of top tier brands for a very long time, and Nacon as well in the world of PlayStation controllers. And it's nice to see that Microsoft has continued to make the Elite Series 2 controller as a companion to go with both the Xbox One, Xbox Series line of controllers and also Windows as well. This fundamentally looks to actually have been a really, really good deal, at least on paper. But I'll see you in a few days when I've given this thing a fair crack at the whip.
Several days later.
So it's probably been about a week or so, and I'm pleased to report that actually in my week or so of testing that this Elite Series 2 controller is as right as ninepence. Where other users have experienced stick drift or something within just the first few days of use, inputs with this particular refurbished example seem to remain absolutely fine. I've used pretty much every swappable joystick and also the additional D-pad that comes with this as well. The battery holds charge absolutely fine, and on that note, it's actually worth noting that the Elite Series 2 controller, unlike the Series 1, features its own integrated rechargeable battery and charges using its own kind of magnetic charging dock that plugs in via USB-C, as you'll see on the top right there. Fundamentally, having an integrated rechargeable battery is also quite convenient, and it seems Microsoft beat Sony to the punch as Sony put it on their DualSense controller to go with the PlayStation 5, but it's nice to see Microsoft also did it as well, which I wasn't initially aware of. So fundamentally, it looks like we've got, as I said earlier, one of the good eggs here, and while you may not be so lucky, it definitely looks to be a pretty good deal, at least on paper, that is. But really, the general question to answer here isn't just should you buy a 50 quid Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, to which the answer I'd give you is, well, fundamentally it depends on which one you get, but look for one of the slightly newer boxes and hopefully you won't be too disappointed. But generally, as to whether you should buy refurbished tech in general, fundamentally it will depend on the retailer and manufacturer that they've got the product from as to what their refurbishment process entails, but in this case I looked to have actually gotten a pretty good deal, and so it's worth looking out actually for refurbished tech in general, because you might be able to save a few quid on what might be a slightly last generation product, or one that has fundamentally been maybe an open box return that a manufacturer has seen fit to refurbish, which you can probably snag for kind of 20, 30, 40% less, or maybe in the case of this controller upwards of 75% less. So fundamentally it depends on which product you're buying as to whether it's worth getting one refurb, but refurbishment is a really good thing to look out for if you're wanting to snag a particular bargain. So in conclusion, well, what have we actually learned here? Well, first things first, you can go and buy a £55 Xbox Elite Series 2 controller that's been refurbished and still get yourself a rather good deal for a product that should cost 100 quid or so more than what I paid. Of course, these deals are only while stocks last, but they do seem to come around every now and again, and it's worth keeping an eye out secondhand on the secondhand markets as to whether you can pick things like this up. And definitely consider refurbished tech as a specific option if you don't want to pay brand new prices and you want to snag a bit of a deal as well, because those products should come with good warranties and guarantees as well. But really, all that really remains to be said is that if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to the channel, and to ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. I appreciate this is a slightly different type of content, but if you like it, do drop a like on the video and let us know if you do. There might be some more things coming up like this if you do enjoy it, and also feel free to follow us on Twitter and indeed Instagram. There should be links appearing to those on the screen right about now. Also down in the description, if you're interested, there'll be a link to the Untitled merchandise store, which is hosted on Spring, which can features all manner of apparel, be it t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, wall art, and everything in between. It's all hosted on Spring, it's all of decent quality, and they do ship worldwide. And also, if you like any of the kit that we feature in these videos, be it this Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, although you might not get it at the price I did, and any of the other myriads of kind of controllers, keyboards, mice, headsets, multimedia controllers, and laptops that we've taken a look at over the last few years or so, then there'll be Amazon links down in the description to those respective videos where you can pick all that kit up. So, once again, thank you very much for watching.